guys, welcome back to Irene the Educator. Today's story is about a beautiful young entrepreneur, Shanquella Robinson, who was murdered in Mexico by messy, menacing friends. There were two really good videos interviewing her parents, and I think coming from them is very important because they love Shanquella. And condolences to the parents of Shanquella, because this is something that no parent should have to experience, their child being murdered by these people who she thought was her friends, and then continued to cover it up, causing more mental anguish and just suffering to the parents. So after this disclaimer, I'm going to get right into the commentary, as well as you will get to watch the video of the parents, the mom and the father. These 6 individuals that are going to be showcased have all been alleged to have been with Shanquella at some point on this supposed vacation. The FBI is doing a thorough investigation, as well as the Mexican authorities. And people do not be unequally yoked with a mate or with friends. Also, it is very sad that some are trying to inject their own personal mindsets into this story or use it to promote their own mindsets. But let's be mindful that even though the statement is made that, oh, the crime rate among women is going up, and then making a statement that is going down among men, one thing is for sure is that Shanquella had a father in her life. And then there is an equal group involved of 3 men and 3 women who either participated in her injuries or they participated in the cover-up. And when you see the interviews with the mother and the father of Shanquella, remember I said the mother and the father of Shanquella who were involved in her life, you will understand why these other 6 individuals had evil intent. So it's alleged that they lied about her death. They took her money and her credit cards. They plotted the cover up, and they did not expect America to be on them like this. So hopefully the authorities intervene before anyone else is injured. Of those who knew Shanquella, like her mother and her father, it seems like she's the only one that had a genuine soul and care for people. This gives me Rhoda from the Bad Seed vibes. If you can, watch this movie. It's an old movie, and it's about a young girl who was just totally selfish, no empathy. Just watch this movie if you get a chance to. So before we get into the mother and father's interview, let's run across these players in this. So if your child runs into any of these following individuals that are getting exposed right now, tell your child to run, lock your child up away from them because they are dangerous. This is Nazari T. Wiggins. He claims that he got there the next day and he comforted Shanquella, but the family does not believe him. And this was after the autopsy report came in. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is Winter E. Donovan. She is of mixed heritage, and she is alleged to be in a second video where she is assaulting Shanquella, causing injuries to her neck and back. And it is believed that this is what caused the death of Shanquella. This is Dajani Jackson, and she is the one who is in the initial video that was leaked. She is seen assaulting Shanquella, and they said it reportedly hit her 30 times. There was also a photo that was altered saying that she was a transgender. Other YouTubers are saying no, she is not a transgender, but it is believed that the reason they were saying that she was a transgender because of Shanquella not fighting back. But you got to remember that Shanquella was quite petite. She is believed, I think she was maybe like a little bit over 5 feet. I don't have her exact height right now, but she was a petite woman. And so many are saying the way she was being beaten up by this Dejeuner woman was the way a man would beat a woman, a defenseless woman. Now, this guy, Khalil Cook, is supposedly or was supposedly Shanquella's best friend, but he returned to the USA and lied to her parents, as well as not assisting her when she was being assaulted. And it's also alleged that he knew the other people there, or the other quote unquote friends there, longer than he knew Shanquella. And as well as he put a video out after Shanquella died saying that, oh, I'm looking up to you and you make boss moves, something along that line. So he just straight out lied to her parents when he got back, saying it was alcohol, intoxication, and all that. So you really have to watch those friends. And now this young lady, Elise Hyatt, it's alleged that she was there and she possibly released the video because of fear and an attempt to absolve herself. And now we move on to the last person to discuss here, Malik Dyer. He's alleged to be the instigator, asking Shanquella if she will fight back. He's the friend of the Dejeuner girl that's, they said, or alleged to have hit her at least 33 times. With men like this, who is out there claiming to be their father, what an embarrassment. What man would stand there? Are you gonna fight back, Shanquella? Are you gonna fight back? What a catty man. So these individuals are an epic failure of being a human being. 3 men, 3 women. I just wonder what the common factor of these 3 women and these 3 men are. What is the common factor? Now, Shanquella seems to have had a really great relationship with her mother and father. If you get a chance, read Carol Dweck, Positive Mindsets, or go to a YouTube and look up Positive Mindsets so that you can put this into your kids when they're growing up, and perhaps they'll have a better chance not to be like these 6 individuals. Her parents put the brakes on their lies.
On a trip to Mexico, Shanquella Robinson's parents say that she visited Cabo San Lucas last month with friends. And those friends claim that she suffered from alcohol poisoning before she died. But disturbing new information has emerged, causing her family to question what they were told. Salamandra Robinson is Shanquella's mother, and she's joining us now. And I gotta tell you, I am appreciative that you are joining us now, because I can only imagine the pain and the anger that you are feeling right now, and I know you want answers. We mentioned that you were initially told that your daughter had alcohol poisoning. So can you talk a little bit more about when you first found out that your daughter had been hurt, had died, what you were told, and what made you question what you were told?
Well, I received a call on Saturday saying that my daughter was sick and that she had alcohol poison. But a doctor had never arrived, so I don't know where they had got the alcohol poison from. So at that time, they said a doctor was on the way to examine her. And she wasn't responding, as they told me. Said she was resting a little bit, but she wasn't all the way responding as normal. So I told them to keep me informed, and I wanted to know why they couldn't take her to the emergency room. They said because they needed $5,000 cash to be seen in the emergency room. And I said, well, she has insurance. And they said they didn't take insurance by being out the country. It was a little different. So at that time, I told them just keep me informed, and they did call back, but they still saying it was alcohol poison. So by later on that evening, they called and said that Shanquella had passed. And at that point, it just took my heart crumbled up, just knowing my child was gone, and I couldn't get there to her, could not do anything. And they said the medics came, 3 medics came, and no one couldn't do anything, couldn't save her. But I believe Shanquella was already passed, had already passed. But later on that next day, I got a call saying that they was over there fighting Shanquella, saying nobody was putting on alcohol poison, say Shanquella, they was jumping on her.
Who called you?
And these were the friends that she was with.
So the friends that she was with said it's not alcohol. They initially said it was alcohol poisoning, and then they said, no, it's not. There was a fight.
There was a fight. This was a phone call that I received that it was a fight. So the video had to be out before they actually come back to Charlotte.
So there's a video for people that don't know, there's a video that surfaced on social media that's very disturbing. You've seen this video, I know. Did you get a call from the police at any point about what they found?
Oh, I never received a call from the police saying what they found.
Or an autopsy, anything like that?
Later on that week, that Thursday, we received a call. That was the autopsy saying that her death had nothing to do with alcohol. So she had a cracked spinal, and say her neck had been broken. So that automatic let me know that she were jumped.
So did you, at that point, have you spoken with the friends that were with her since then?
I spoke to the friends, like they had, when she actually passed, it was on a Saturday evening night when they called. But I talked to them, I think they'll ride back home maybe Sunday or Monday. And I talked to them like on Tuesday and Wednesday. I talked to them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And they kept on saying there was never a fight. There was never a fight. So I didn't believe any stories. So after we received the autopsy on Thursday evening, and the autopsy told us what had actually happened to her. And so that took it to a whole nother level. Because, they're saying that it was alcohol, and alcohol was not the cause of her death.
Yeah.
They jumped on her over there. And if you see the video actually shows that she was not fighting nobody back. She didn't even have a chance. All of them sitting there looking. No one sat, tried to stop it. She had nobody over there to help her,
So
there was nothing she could do.
This is a video that's circulating on social media. Just to clarify, when you saw that video, did you think that was your daughter?
Yes, that was my daughter.
Okay. Did the friends talk about the video? Did they acknowledge the video in any way?
No, never. They never acknowledged the video.
As far as you know, obviously, because this has happened in Mexico, which complicates everything, the Department of State has issued a statement saying that they're aware of the reports. What do you know from the Mexican authorities and even the Department of State about where things stand then? You mentioned the autopsy report. What have you learned?
Well, I have learned now that they are looking at it as murder.
And
I was glad to hear that.
This, so often it is mothers that really sort of push and push and push. And I know this is hard. Your daughter, I want you to tell us more about her. She is obviously not just a headline in a story. Tell us about your daughter.
Well, Shanquella was sweet, very kind. She had a heart of gold. She loved everybody. She didn't mistreat nobody. Never, no one could possibly ever say anything bad about her because she was a good person.
Was she close friends with the people that she went on this trip with?
Well, all I know that she went to college with them. That one of the guys supposed to have been her best friend. And he had went on family trips with us, and he'd been to the family house. We've all been on trips together, just good time. And I never thought that he could be that low to do my child like that.
Have you heard from him since all of this
Yeah,
happened?
he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
And Salamandra, have they given you any sense of a timeline? As far as I know, you said that they're investigating this now as a murder, but have they given you any sense of a timeline as to when you may hear more from them?
No, we just said they're still working on it.
Well, we want to acknowledge, we mentioned that you've seen the video. The reason we've chosen not to show it is it is disturbing. We can't verify the authenticity of it at this point. As you mentioned, you saw it, you believe that's your daughter. But we appreciate you sharing your story and what you believe happened. And as Amory said, his mom.
What did they come back to North Carolina and tell your family, especially Khalil, who is, the best friend of your daughter? Can you just talk about how you found out about your daughter's death, and can you talk about the lie that they told?
Well, first, I was sitting at home on a Saturday, which was the 29th. It was like 7 or 8 p.m. and phone rung. I'm sitting there looking at TV. So my mom said, I said, well, mom's calling. So I picked the phone up and it wasn't sounding right. So she said, Shanquella gone. So, I said, gone, gone where, and she said, she dead. I said, dead how? And she said, alcohol poison. So when she said alcohol, I said, how'd you got alcohol poison? Where's she at? So she said, Mexico, Cabo. So, the phone just, my phone dropped and I just started crying. I'm trying to figure out who she was over there with, and said she was over there with some friends that she went to school with, went to Salem with. So I said, you know of them? You know them? She said, I know of them. I just know she went to school with them. So, from there, my whole night was just trauma, man. I just cried all that night. Just cried.
Yeah.
Not knowing, how, over in Mexico, where she at, or what,
Now,
right now,
go ahead, Dad.
it's just hard. It's just the point that alcohol poisoning. It didn't sound right. I said, how you got over there? For the flu over there. I'm trying to when she leave. So it's about Friday. Got there 8 o'clock. She said she talked to her on the phone, and they was sitting there drinking. Eating tacos and styles that a chef came in. And from there, she said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. So from that point, that was Friday, so Saturday, so she telling me the whole story now. So from that point in, that's when she found her dead at 3 o'clock, say, her friend Khalid was on the phone talking to us, and she was, sick, throwing up, it wasn't feeling well. She took a shower, laid back down, and they called the Airbnb house. They supposed to send a medic doctor out there to the house, and they had to pay $150 for the doctor to come. So when the doctor came, they had to look at her and try to put an IV in her arm, and so the IV popped out and she went into a seizure. That's what Khalid telling, her mom's all this right here now. So
right.
I'm trying to figure out, I'm listening to the conversation, so I'm trying to figure out, well, why Khalid, didn't give you the phone or let you hear the doctor. Then
Right.
one of them in the house, which was told, one of them told her she need to wire $5,000 over there so they can take her to the hospital or so she be able to get in the hospital. I said, $5,000 for what? I mean, she got insurance. She always had insurance.
Right.
So from that point, that's it. So then all of a sudden, Monday came. Okay, now we getting together trying to figure out where she at. So
Before going into any personal agendas, remember Shanquella had a good relationship with her father and her mother. She was sweet, kind, and she was her father's only child. Let that sink in. This young lady was successful. She had 2 businesses. She was only 25 years old, and she's making boss move. The other rats, the 2 women or the 3 supposed women and the 3 supposed men, seems to have been very jealous of her. That's a dangerous combination. It takes a special kind of person to lie to a mother and father when you cause the death of their daughter.